Close your eyes and travel back to India in 1985. The roads are dominated by two shapes, the rounded, bulbous Hindustan Ambassador and the boxy Premier Padmini. The economy is closed. The choices are limited. The streets are a sea of monotony. But then, turning a corner through the dust and the chaos, something different appears. It is long, it is low-slung, it has a hood that seems to stretch on for miles, and four rectangular headlights that stare you down with an air of arrogance. It glides past the taxis and the scooters like a shark swimming through a school of goldfish. The person in the back seat isn't just a passenger, they are a person of importance. A film star, a wealthy industrialist, or perhaps a Bollywood villain. This was the Hindustan Motors Contessa. For a brief, glorious moment in history, this wasn't just a car, it was the ultimate symbol of Indian luxury. It was our Cadillac, our Mercedes, and our Mustang all rolled into one. In the next 8 minutes, we are going to rediscover the legend of the Contessa. We will explore how a British relic became an Indian icon, why it died, and why, decades later, it is suddenly rising from the grave. The vacuum, India before 1991. To understand the Contessa, you must first understand the India of the 1980s. This was the era of the license Raj. The economy was tightly controlled, and foreign imports were banned or taxed into oblivion. You couldn't just walk into a showroom and buy a BMW or a Toyota, they simply didn't exist here. For the Indian elite, this was a problem. If you were rich, you had money, but you had nothing to spend it on. Your only option for a luxury car was the Hindustan Ambassador, a vehicle designed in the 1950s that was reliable, yes, but about as comfortable as a park bench. Hindustan Motors, the biggest car maker in the country, sensed this vacuum. They realized that while the Ambassador was perfect for politicians and taxi drivers, the new generation of wealthy Indians wanted something sleek. They wanted status. And since they couldn't design a new car from scratch, they did what everyone did in those days. They looked to the West for a donor. The British DNA, the Vauxhall Connection. The Contessa looks like an American muscle car. It has the lines of a Chevy Camaro or Mustang. But dig into its DNA, and you will find it is actually British. Hindustan Motors acquired the tooling for a discontinued model from the UK called the Vauxhall Victor FE. In Britain, the Victor was a forgotten family saloon from the 70s. But in India, stripped of its badges and rebranded as the Contessa, it looked like a spaceship. Launched in 1984, the design was revolutionary for the Indian market. It had a monocoque chassis, meaning it was lower and handled better than the ancient Ambassador. But mostly, it was about the silhouette. That long, flat bonnet and the sloping fastback rear end gave it a road presence that commanded respect. When a Contessa pulled up to a hotel porch, the doorman didn't just open the door, he saluted. It was the first Indian car that was bought for its looks, not just its utility. True opulence, inside the beast. If the exterior was about muscle, the interior was about comfort. Stepping from a Padmini into a Contessa was like stepping from a crowded train carriage into a private jet. The seats were deep, plush, and covered in velvet fabric that you sank into. It had carpeting that felt thick under your shoes. But the real game changer was the feature list. The Contessa introduced India to things we now take for granted. It had factory-fitted air conditioning that actually cooled the cabin. It had power windows, a magical feature in the 80s where you pressed a button instead of cranking a handle. It was marketed as a limousine. The advertisement slogan famously read, "The car for the connoisseur." And it was true. It was the car you bought if you had a driver. The back seat had leg room for days, an armrest that folded down, and a suspension system that floated over the potholes of Bombay and Delhi. For a decade, if you saw a Contessa parked outside a bungalow, you knew the person inside had made it. The heart transplant, the Isuzu Era. However, the early Contessa had a secret weakness. It looked like a tiger, but it ran like a kitten. The original engine was the same weak, underpowered unit from the Ambassador. It was heavy, slow, and struggled to pull the big body of the car. Hindustan Motors knew they had to fix this. In the late 80s, they made a deal with the Japanese giant Isuzu. They dropped a 1.8-liter Isuzu petrol engine into the car, creating the legendary Contessa Classic. Suddenly, the car had the bite to match its bark. It could hit speeds of 120 kilometers per hour without shaking apart. It had a 5-speed gearbox, a luxury in an era of 4-speed transmissions. This was the golden age of the Contessa. It became the getaway car in Bollywood movies. It became the car the hero drove to chase down the bad guys. With the Isuzu engine, it wasn't just a luxury barge anymore. It was a highway cruiser that could dominate the road. The death of a king. Enter Maruti. But all empires must fall, and the Contessa's fall was brutal. In the early 90s, India opened its economy. The License Raj ended, and suddenly the floodgates opened. The Maruti 1000 and the Maruti Esteem arrived. These cars were modern, fuel-efficient, compact, and easy to drive. Compared to these Japanese marvels, the Contessa suddenly looked like a dinosaur. It was too big. It drank too much fuel, delivering maybe 8 kilometers to the liter if you were lucky. The steering was heavy, and parking it in crowded cities was a nightmare. The definition of luxury shifted. Luxury was no longer about size and velvet seats. It was about reliability and plastic dashboards. The wealthy migrated to the Mercedes E-Class and the Honda City. The Contessa was relegated to the scrap heap. By 2002, production stopped quietly. The king was dead, and nobody seemed to mourn him. Resurrection, the Indian muscle car. But a strange thing happens to cars that have soul. They refuse to stay dead. In the last 5 years, a new generation of car enthusiasts has rediscovered the Contessa. They don't care about fuel efficiency, they care about style. They realize that the Contessa is the only Indian car that provides the perfect canvas for modification. Today, there is a thriving cult of Contessa owners. They restore them, they paint them matte black, they put massive alloy wheels on them. Some even swap the engines for V8s or modern turbocharged units. They have turned the Vauxhall Victor into the Indian Mustang. Prices for a well-maintained Contessa have skyrocketed. What you could buy for 50,000 rupees as scrap metal 10 years ago will now cost you 5 or 6 lakhs. It has become a collector's item, turning heads on the streets of Bangalore and Mumbai more than a brand new Audi ever could. It has finally earned the title it always deserved, a classic. The story of the Contessa is the story of India itself. It bridges the gap between the closed, socialist past and the globalized present. It reminds us of a time when luxury wasn't just a spec sheet, it was a feeling. It was the feeling of a long hood, a heavy door, and the open road. Now, I have a question for the petrol heads watching. If you could bring back one dead car from Indian history and launch a modern version of it today, what would it be? Would you bring back the Contessa as a modern muscle car? Or would you bring back the Ambassador or the Gypsy? Let me know in the comments below. I personally would love to see an electric Contessa with that same retro shape. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit the like button. It helps us keep the nostalgia alive. And if you love stories about iconic machines and the people who drove them, subscribe to the channel. We have a special video coming up on the Maruti 800, the car that taught India to drive, and you won't want to miss it. Until then, drive safe.